It's time for the 10,000 mile review on the Fiat 500e.
We're just a few days away from having had this car for a full year. We purchased this car in February of 2022, middle of February. Was looking for a small electric car that was inexpensive, that could basically handle my commute. And lo and behold, the Fiat 500e presented itself. This is a first generation Fiat 500e. It's a 2018 model year. And when we purchased it, it had about 28,000 miles on it, and now it's over 38,000. For the first half of its time with us, it was my commuter car, and for the second half of its time with us, it's been Rachel's commuter car. This is a great little used EV that you could find because they discontinued this car in 2019, and it's coming back in the Mustang. It's coming back in the 2024, I believe, model year from Fiat with the new European redesign that it has. So but there are plenty of these available on the used car market if you're looking for a used EV that can suit your purposes. Rachel's been driving it most, and I'm going to ask her to add what some of her biggest likes and dislikes are.
I've been driving this Fiat for a few months now. Once Luke bought the Bolt, I kind of got to use the Fiat as my commuter car. It's actually only about 18 miles to my job, but it feels longer because there's a lot of slow road type conditions on the way there. This car doesn't have a lot of range to it, but it's great for what I do. Just drive it to work, bring it back, and it's so cheap. Luke did the calculation. It's about 3 cents a mile to drive this car, considering that we charge it at home and we have solar panels. So I love that. It's less than my motorcycle. It costs less to operate this vehicle than it does my motorcycle. Other things that I really like are, it's cute. Look at it. It's this great European styling. It's a Fiat. It looks just like the Fiat 500. The only thing different is it's, an EV, but it's super cute, especially on the inside. I really like the look of it. It's got the white dash with the orange highlights. It's really cute. Now, if you're not interested in an electric vehicle, you can get the 500e that looks exactly like this in a regular internal combustion engine, but we chose it because it was an electric vehicle, but I find that I really fell in love with the way it looks. This car is so much fun to drive. I'm actually really kind of surprised. That's just the way electric vehicles are. They have like instant pickup when you press the accelerator pedal. But they're just a lot of fun. They can go fast and accelerate quickly, and this one is also super maneuverable because it's very small. I can actually do a U-turn in a residential street because it's that small. But this car is just extremely fun to drive. As much as I always loved my Subarus, this one I enjoy driving more. One of the things that I love about this car is it has seat heaters. Now, my Subaru also has those, and I find it to be great. You just press this little button here, you can heat the driver's seat or the passenger seat, and it is really nice when it's cold outside to jump in, press that button, and your whole body starts to get warm. It's great, I like it. This car has so much reliability. You basically don't have to do anything to it. We've had it for almost a year and we haven't had any issues at all. We haven't had to do any maintenance. I think we filled up the windshield wiper fluid and we had to put a little air in some of the tires after we had some temperature fluctuations, but it doesn't take an oil changes. It doesn't need to have fluids topped off. There's just nothing to do and it just goes. And it's really maintenance free and worry free. So one thing different about the EV compared to an internal combustion vehicle is getting it inspected. We live in Texas, and because there are no emissions issues with this car, because it's an electric vehicle, it has no emissions. They just had to do a safety inspection on it, the same that they do on the motorcycles. So it literally cost $7 and about 10 minutes to get this car inspected. I think that's worth something to say. And another thing, it's actually really easy to notice my car in the parking lot because it looks different from everybody else's. My Subaru Crosstrek, bless its heart, I love the way it looks, but a lot of cars look like that. This car doesn't look like anything else. Also, it can fit in tiny little spaces, so I can park places that maybe I couldn't park with a bigger car. Let's talk about what I wish were a little better about the car. First thing, range. This is the biggest detriment to this particular vehicle, is it's a very short range EV. It's fine for me because I don't have to drive very far to get to work, but it is a lot less range than most EVs have, especially the more modern ones. This one, the EPA says it gets 87 miles of range. When I turn it on and the battery's at 100%, the guessometer tells me 88 miles of range. But even then, of course, that is affected by weather and other types of conditions. If it's very cold, the range definitely goes down quite a bit. It's not half like some people say. It's a complicated thing depending on a lot of factors, but it is significant, maybe 20%, something like that. Also, the other thing that makes this car a little bit less than perfect is that it can't fast charge. So I'm not going to take it on a road trip. It can't fast charge. We plug it into our level 2 charger at home, and that maxes out at about 6.6 kilowatts. So it's great for what we do, but it's not going to replace another car if you need to drive long distances or if you need to fast charge. This is just a little commuter car. It's great for that, but I don't recommend it if you need something that can get bigger range. Also, when the weather is very cold, I talked about that. I personally found that the internal heater is not that effective. I love the seat heaters, but turning on the climate control while it's cold, it seems to me like it's just not as effective as my other car. So I enjoy driving it in the cold a lot less than I enjoy driving it at more comfortable temperatures. But that's just me. Luke said he didn't have that issue. In conclusion, this is my go-to vehicle whenever I'm going to work or going any place that's pretty much close by, unless the weather's very, very bad. If it's bad weather, I'll take the Subaru. If we've got a bunch of people or we need to go longer, we'll take the Bolt. But if it's just me and I'm just going to work, this is my car.